You are listening to the Postcast, presented by the Locked On Senators podcast and the Glebe Central Pub. The Glebe Central Pub is your neighborhood pub in the heart of the Glebe. Go check them out for tasty food, great drinks, and an amazing atmosphere. They are at
779 Bank Street, Ross. I got you. I know you don't know your Ottawa geography that well.
In the heart of the Glebe. The Ottawa Senators get a huge 5-3 win on the road at Madison Square Garden, and there are plenty of storylines coming out of this game. I'm Ross Levitan. On my right is Brandon Piller. We're having a fantastic time down south, but this win certainly put a punctuation mark on a great day.
And Ross, it's a punctuation mark on a great day for us and Sens fans, but a total damper on the New York Rangers and Patrick Kane's debut. That building was so loud. Anytime Kane came near the puck, anytime he was in the offensive zone, they were fired up about the new acquisition. And the Ottawa Senators said, don't be too excited about that because we're getting 2 points here tonight. A 5-3 win in regulation. This was a big boy win, Ross. We talked about this. This is a New York Rangers team that has loaded up at the deadline, or before the deadline, I should say, and they're at home. MSG is going crazy, and the Ottawa Senators pull off a win like this when they didn't exactly start the game off great.
No, they certainly didn't. The Ottawa Senators erased two different leads in this game to come back and earn a 5-3 win. How about John Abbott, Johnny Superstar, giving us a Timmy Superstar at the end of the game? Watching it on MSG, the Rangers feed, all of a sudden Twitter at Sens Central just lights up. Doesn't get any better than that.
Yes, thank you to everyone that immediately let us know, because in Mexico, the blackout restrictions are still here for Ottawa Senators games.
Regional.
Sportsnet Now. We tried to watch on Sportsnet Now. Every other game available, they knew the Locked On Senators podcast was here. They're like, we got to black that one out for them. But luckily, our guy Greg, shout out Greg, hooked us up with a way to stream it. So yes, we were watching the MSG feed, but John Abbott, an absolute beauty for giving the LOSP reference Timmy Superstar.
I texted him. I said, "You're the man. You're your best kind." And he wrote back. He said, "Man of the people, fun game." Yeah, fun game. That's an understatement.
Oh man, an absolute blast this game was. I mean, from all aspects, Ross. There was really good pushbacks from the Rangers, the Ottawa Senators. I thought their best part of the game was they were doing a really good job forechecking. They're putting a lot of pressure on the stacked Rangers team, not giving them too much time to think with the puck, especially in the third period. They were controlling this game fully. And if it wasn't for millimeters of Brady Tkachuk going offside, this game would have been even more dominant.
Yes, it certainly would have. What was your favorite storyline after this game? Derek Brassard 2 goals or the play of Jacob Chychrun?
Definitely Derek Brassard 2 goals. I mean, obviously we're stoked to have Chychrun here, but also you got to give the guy a bit of a break, as he did do a red-eye flight, doesn't practice with the team, and is just thrown out there. So that's a tough situation to be in, and we can get into his near injury scare. That was... I was screaming out obscenities in the room. People next door are probably like, what is going on? It's the Ottawa Senators game. That's what's happening. But, I mean... I really thought Derek Brassard had a chance at a hat trick here, and he was so close at the end of the game there, that long shot. If he would have got that, oh man, that would have been amazing. But 2 goals for Brassard, I'll take it.
And as we do at the start of each postcast, we're going to go through and get who should be on the goggles poll. But the real question is, how many percentiles will not go to Derek Brassard? We know Claude Giroux has the goggles. Giroux himself had himself another great night. Was it 2 or 3 at the end of the day? Still gets his 3rd point on the Tim Stützle goal. Had his 3rd taken away from him on the Brady Tkachuk offside play, which I think was pretty inconclusive. But you look all in all, and we got Swanky Pants saying, with great respect, we don't need a poll tonight, right? But you know what? We'll do a poll anyways. We got Derek Brassard. I threw Brady Tkachuk on that list as well. Cam Talbot had a heck of a game. Yep. And then we put Jacob Chychrun, I think, because of the first game. They love the sentimental storylines, but this one doesn't hold a candle to the one that's going to be victorious.
Yeah. It's it'll be interesting to see how the goggles go in this one. And the Ottawa Senators, don't look now, 4-game win streak. You'll love to see that. Going into the trade deadline,
Ooh. Who wants it? Who wants it?
Who wants it?
Who wants it? Doodle and Daryl, by the way, unreal design coming. The Who Wants It t-shirts. We're going to get those out as soon as we possibly can. Sens hockey's fun again.
Yes.
Sens hockey is extremely fun. They've been scored against 3 games in a row, and they've won all 3 games.
Yeah, this Ottawa Senators team, going into those games up against the Red Wings, Ross, these are the biggest games of the year, and the Ottawa Senators not only win both those games, but they dominate those games. They bully the Red Wings into turning into sellers, selling off Philip Hronek and Tyler Bertuzzi when they're in the midst of a playoff race here.
And all of a sudden, Dylan Larkin's like, maybe I'm not worth $9 million.
Yeah, wish you would have told me you were trading off everyone before I signed my extension. I guess Hronek was gone, but Bertuzzi was still there, so have fun in Detroit.
Have fun in Detroit. Hey, let's get into the game summary, how this one all broke down after. We got to start with Derek Brassard. This is just storybook stuff. 2 goals in a milestone game. That's the Chris Phillips special. He seemed to score 2 goals. Yes. I think it was his 900th game and his 1,000th game. Correct me in the chat if I'm wrong on that. And now, not smart writing in, Sens are now 3-21-2 when trailing after 2 periods. Woo. They were able to come back early in the third. But just a word on Derek Brassard, what he means to the team. You saw the emotional gift exchange or giving gifts to Derek Brassard beforehand. That was an awesome moment and great for the Sens to come out and give him a huge win.
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy this is his second tour with the Ottawa Senators, and he's a respected veteran around the league. Ross, we were joking today. He's probably one of the guys in the league that has the most former teammates, like for how long he's played, how many different teams he's played on. A lot of guys definitely give stick taps to Derek Brassard, and he's proven himself to be a really useful part of this team. And without him, I think this bottom 6, which has struggled to create offense throughout the year, would have been even worse off here. And Derek Brassard even playing some time in the top 6. So I think Derek Brassard, you heard Pierre Dorion too, when they mentioned him in the post or the pregame media event, he's just like, Derek. Oh,
Derek.
Yeah. So definitely glad to see that he had a big night on a milestone game. What a legend. Big game brass. That's what he does. It's what he does.
Big game brass. Nice goals too. We'll break them down in just a minute. But first, let me tell you that the Glebe Central Pub is the sponsor. Let me try this again. Pilsy, 779 Bank Street. And make sure you let them know that Locked On Senators sent you to the Glebe Central Pub, where you get tasty food, you get great drinks, amazing atmosphere, whether it's trivia night, whether you just go there to hang out with friends, you're always amongst friends at the Glebe Central Pub. Find them at 779 Bank Street. Make sure you let them know that Locked On Senators sent you. It's the Glebe Central Pub. It's the Glebe Central Pub. The Postcast is brought to you by the Glebe Central Pub. Billsy, quick word from our friends at FanDuel as well. You love FanDuel.
Oh, yeah. FanDuel is the #1 sports book in North America. That's why the Locked On Podcast Network was like, yeah, we're going to partner with these guys. They're also a partner with the NFL. And for our friends down in the States, you can get an awesome bonus if it's your first time joining. For everyone else, use the app. It's safe. It's simple. It's secure. It's honestly the best sports betting app I've used. And I've definitely tried out a bunch of different ones, and nothing compares to FanDuel. You can get a bigger chance at a bigger payout with same game parlays. Do the money line, do the point spread, do total goals, whatever you're into. You can find it on FanDuel, the official sportsbook of the Locked On Podcast Network. Make every moment more with FanDuel.
All right, you listen to the Postcast. I had some requests, and another victory for the Ottawa Senators tonight at Madison Square Garden against a Rangers team that simply doesn't lose a whole lot of games.
Especially like a Rangers team that doesn't lose a lot, and they've just added Patrick Kane, and the Ottawa Senators were able to beat them at MSG. It already feels different, Ross. I know it's crazy to say, but when you add a player with Jacob Chychrun's capabilities, even though I wouldn't argue he was a big impact in this game, but just the feeling that the players get. I mean, talking about Derek Brassard, he said in the media, we feel like we've earned the right to have Pierre Dorion bring some reinforcements in at the deadline, and he does it right away, and they get a big addition. So I think the energy that this is going to bring this team moving forward, you can finally feel a culture change starting to happen here, as we weren't sure at the trade deadline, are they going to be buyers, sellers? They're going to stand pat, but they've made it clear the direction of this team, and I love it.
They making a trade before 3 p.m. Eastern tomorrow?
I mean, if they do, I think it's going to be a very minor deal, Ross. I think maybe we're looking at getting a rental centerman just to kind of fill in the gaps. Obviously, Norris not coming back this season. And now that you look at the playoff race, Ross, I'm sure we'll get the standings pulled up here, but Washington, sellers. I'm not too worried about them. Detroit, sellers. I think they're going to start falling off here. Buffalo, they lost 7-1 to the Boston Bruins tonight. So that's nice for your Ottawa Senators. And Pittsburgh, they did win their game, but also the New York Islanders, Barzal out for a while, and they have so many more games played than all the other teams. I think that's a team that could fall as well. Starting to feel a lot better about the P word. Let's just say that.
Whoa. Okay. Easy. Let's go through
P word. I didn't use a hard P word.
100%. We will get to Menno. I'm seeing his name in the chat. And by the way,
disappointing.
Apparently he showed up at the Sens one in the third. Somebody must have gotten on his case.
He did what was the Dallas Cowboys player? He pulled that move.
Neville Gallimore.
Yeah, he pulled the Gallimore move. Just in case, you better have both there. But I really thought Menno would be wearing. He told us when they go to games, he makes sure to wear his Sens gear. So,
by the way,
we'll talk to him.
The word is spreading in the chat. JG Pajot. You looked at me side-eyed when I brought that up, Pilsy.
What about him? What?
That he could be he could be the missing piece with a little salary retention.
Nah, I don't think. How many years left does he have on that?
Three after this one. It's obviously the contract doesn't make it worthwhile. But
and the Islanders just lost their centerman. They're not about to trade one.
I know, but it would be fun. But that's a prototype I think they would like to have down the stretch, and he would be on the high end of the talent level of a guy in that position.
And we know what he adds in the playoffs. Sens fans know that firsthand. Yeah.
Before we get to the Austin Watson play, this game, as we do chronologically, we go through it. It was just about 6.5 minutes into the game. Ottawa's on the power play. Oh, tough bobble from Thomas Chabot at the blue line, and he kind of loses his footing and lets Kreider get behind him. That's not a guy you're going to be confident letting get behind you on a shorthanded opportunity. And he has all day, all night. I know New York doesn't sleep, but you could have had a nap and woken up and still been able to go in all alone on Cam Talbot.
Yeah, I mean, it was basically a penalty shot from the blue line. He knows he can take all the time and space he wants, and he pulls off a nice backhand move. That's one where it's disappointing that you start your game off that, especially a team that has a good power play like the Ottawa Senators, but you got to tip your cap to Kreider. That's a nice play.
It's a very nice play. Now, moments later, #Sens abroad, Tyler Mott takes a vicious hit from Austin Watson. It's given a game misconduct, a charging penalty as well. What were your thoughts on that hit?
I mean, just when Waddy was really turning a corner, and our boy Williams Marchand has been a Watson stan the last little while here, but Watson's starting to score some goals. He's even showing better in fights. Sens fans are really starting to say, okay, like he's starting to make a little more sense, or at least more than he was for the most of this season. And then he pulls a move like that, and Ross, not only a move like that, but on Tyler Mott, your former teammate, in your first game against each other, like, not cool, man. Not cool at all. Yeah, we're watching the replay here. It's
an elbow
play. It's a terrible, terrible play. Like, we're not going to sit here and be Sens fans and say, "Oh."
But I don't think it's that. I think 5 in a game is fair. I don't know if he gets suspended on top of that after being in middle of the first period. I think maybe if this is 5 minutes left in the game, you get the next one.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just viewing it a little bit differently, but I mean,
I see a suspension coming forward
for a charge. So the only thing is, he's gliding. It's an elbow.
Yeah.
But they called it for charging. I don't even think that was a charge.
I know. I did think that was a weird call there.
Like an elbowing major, I think, is what it was.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see what the league has to say about it. Yeah, exactly. And you wonder, does that impact if a team's waiting? Like, hey, do I get Austin Watson for 22 games or do I get him for 19 or 18? Probably not. I mean, probably doesn't matter.
Too many scouts are changing, or general managers are changing their Watson trade proposals after that.
Yeah. Well, let us know in the chat as well. I'm curious what people think, whether or not that's a suspension worthy, or if 5 in a game is enough. I don't think anyone can sit here and say that it's a minor penalty or not, or nothing at all. No. I mean, he kind of lunges upwards at Tyler Mott's head. So we hope Mott's okay. Definitely. He left, did not return. So unfortunate there for Tyler Mott, who we want to see have success. I mean, he's back where he had some last year. And then This was Yarrow Halak. The next highlight was ridiculous. Windmill glove save. Got to respect it.
Yeah, I mean, Timmy has a great opportunity to score here, and Timmy's been hot lately. He hasn't been missing chances like that very often. So, again, just nice save, Halak.
Sick feed from Brady Tkachuk on that one. So it's 1-0 for the Rangers midway through the second period. Turnover, and Alex DeBrincat starts a great passing play between him. Shane Pinto rips a shot. It goes wide, but then a great kind of backhand reverse play from Artem Zub to start up the momentum. And then Batherson gets a shot. DeBrincat rebound over to Shane Pinto, his 16th of the season. You looked at me, you said 20's easy happening.
Yeah, we talked about Shane Pinto. I forget when this was in the postcast with Martian, and he was at 12 goals, and he said, "You guys think Pinto gets to 20?" And I was confident. I really thought, especially with Josh Norris out, Pinto's going to get a lot more opportunities, and he's been really good in front of the net, and he buries it there. So that's his 16th goal. Hell yeah, he's getting to 20.
Hell yeah, he's getting 20. And we got Menno Versteeg confirmed Sens hat. Now it looks like a worn-in Sens hat.
Yeah, that's an interesting move to bring the two hats along there. We're going to have to talk to Menno about this. We need to get to the bottom.
I think we do. We're going to have to get some kangaroo court. Let the people decide, because you're in the other building. I think he has to stand trial. We'll try to work that out here in the upcoming weeks at Locked On Senators. But great. Like I said, we weren't able to see the TSN game, which sucks because we missed friend of the show, Sens Central Citizen, and we missed John Abbott giving us the Timmy Superstar. But it was also Derek Brassard who came to play in this one. He scores the goal to give the Sens a 2-1 lead. Assists go to Mathieu Joseph and Dylan Gambrell. What'd you see on that play, Pilsy?
Well, talking about Shane Pinto being effective in front of the net, Derek Brassard has also done a good job of that this season. I mean, a veteran guy, and he's had to change his role and get a little greasier than he used to be, that's for sure. But this is a nice job. I want to shout out on this one. I'm just looking at my notes here. Mathieu Joseph is the reason this goal happened.
Great game for him overall.
I thought he had a good game as well. He beats out the icing, and then he ends up getting a shot on net, and Brass is right there out front. It would have gone wide, but Brass gets a tip on it, and you love to see that, as that gives the Sens a 2-1 lead.
Are we ready to bring up Dylan Gambrell on a 3-game point streak?
Don't tempt me talking about Dylan Gambrell on a point streak here.
3 straight games with an assist for Dylan Gambrell. Wow. But in all seriousness, that was all Joseph. Rips the shot on net. Brassard gets a tip, and he has 10 goals on the year. Pilsy, it doesn't last long, though. Jacob Trouba, a little bit too much space, I think, coming down the middle, and he makes no mistake either, ripping the shot backhand past Cam Talbot. This one, Talbot probably wants it back, but he played so well. It's not one we're going to hang over his head.
No, and I don't really blame Talbot on this one, Ross, because where that play was really effective for me was Panarin. He's able to draw the Senators towards him, towards the point, and then a great cross-ice pass, and Trouba sneaks in backdoor. I don't know. When Trouba has that much time and I think it deflects off a guy as well. I don't blame Talbot on that one.
Do we have an official goggles video out? I see the chat saying that Brassard went full vet mode and that Giroux gave them to Brassard, who turned around and gave them to Chychrun.
Ooh, I like that. The co-goggle.
Is this confirmed, though?
Yeah, hit us with the confirmation, guys, in the chat about the goggles.
Yeah, who wants it?
Who wants it?
Who wants it tonight? So at that point, it's 2-2. Panarin's 50th assist, by the way, on that goal of the season. Yeah, and then Vladimir Tarasenko, you do one of these. You go hat tip, kid. And then you look at it, hashtag Sens abroad, Mika Zibanejad, and Ben Harper on the assists.
Ben Harper.
Offensive defenseman, loves moving the puck.
Yeah, he moves pucks. He's great in transition. But that, again, I'm going to credit the pass. I was going to say no one ever credits a pass on a Forsberg goal. Carlson to Hoffman. That's a good example of a great pass to lead to a Forsberg goal. But
they're winning so much right now, we got the wrong goggles. Remember, Giroux gave it to Watson on Tuesday. 4 games in 5 nights. That's an honest mistake.
I can't keep track of
That's an honest mistake.
And honestly, you guys, as I'm sure you've realized, the Cabo edition of Locked On Senators podcast will be a strictly vibes-based podcast. We are not responsible for any stats that are wrong.
Disclaimer.
We're already not math guys, so we're just cruising here. But like I was saying, that was a great pass by Panarin, or Zibanejad, to set up Tarasenko there. And then Ross, when that goal happened, we both just looked at each other and like, well,
yeah.
What are you gonna do there? That's just an absolutely beautiful goal by Tarasenko.
Forsberged him, or do we call that the Hoffman?
No. That it's the Forsberg, but no one had a better Forsberg goal than Mike Hoffman.
Yeah, there. Wait. Okay. Yeah. No, it actually does make sense.
Okay, good.
Am I
going crazy here?
No, that's all good. So at that point, it's 3-2 Rangers going into the third period. Back-to-back goals, momentum goals within 2 minutes of each other. You know what else is a momentum goal, Pilsy? Coming out from intermission and getting on the board. And Derek Brassard does just that. Giroux puts it on net, and Brassard just bangs away. Sorry, that was the next one where Giroux was able to do just that. The next goal here, it was when Brassard was patient in front of the net, backhand right through Halak.
Well, I love this play, Ross, because it starts with Brassard pressuring Halak with the puck behind the net. And anytime you're a forechecker and you see the goalie there, that's a really vulnerable spot to be in. And if you can just put pressure on him, he's probably going to make a mistake or just throw it anywhere. And the Sens end up getting the puck. And what I love is that he goes for the wraparound, fakes, and then gets out front. And then Halak's not really sure what to do. He fully anticipates a wraparound's going to happen. Spinorama, backhand. I mentioned that Brassard's got to get greasier with goals. Maybe not. I'll take that back, because that was an absolute beauty.
11 now on the season for Derek Brassard. Claude Giroux gets his 36th assist, and he says, you know what? I'm just going to get my own this time. His 26th goal of the season. That's the one where the puck goes on net. Shot from Hamonic. We know he loves to shoot. When he gets it on net, they're a lot more dangerous than when he doesn't. How's that for a hot take? But he does, and Giroux just goes, you know what? You can stop the first. You're not getting the second.
Yet another great net front presence goal, Ross. And that's what the Ottawa Senators really focused on in this game. And Giroux, he doesn't waste any time. That's the key, is the quickness of how you can get a rebound off. And it goes right through Halak's legs. And that's just a great play by your guy, G.
Oh, my God. Giroux. And then Giroux wasn't done there either. He gets the secondary assist. First, he should have got... Where are we at with the disallowed goal? So let me walk it through. Giroux goes unreal stretch pass to Brady Tkachuk, goes in, scores on the break, and it gets called back. It was in the air. Those ones are tough.
Well, no, he didn't even score on that break. That was
right. Sorry.
Zone entry, which I was like, how long ago was that play? Like, I don't know what the NHL is going to do, because obviously putting a time counter on when you can disallow offsides or not, I think that gets messy. But this was tough, Ross, because I was confident that this wasn't going to get called back, because it was called a goal on the ice. So you had to be 100% sure that it was offside. And I thought it was going to be one of those where you're like, it's probably offside, but we can't physically prove it. It didn't look like it on the MSG broadcast, at least. So I thought maybe I was being hopeful that it wasn't going to get called back. But that's a tough one, because the Ottawa Senators really would have had a stranglehold in this game if that one had counted.
Well, they find another one, but an empty net in this case. Giroux gets the secondary assist. He tries to score from his own zone. Brady gets the puck first, puts it in front, and we get a Timmy Superstar reference with just under 3 minutes left in the game. Stützle's 29th, dude. Last year, Brady hit 30 in game 82, and we were impressed. It's game 61, and he's at 29.
Yeah, it's amazing what Tim Stützle has done here. And it's obviously very unfortunate that Josh Norris had the season he did, but that allowed Timmy to really elevate his role, and he didn't disappoint. He did exactly what was expected from him, and probably even more. So Timmy Superstar, that's not just a clever nickname. He truly is a superstar.
Nicknames are earned, not given, Pilsy. So we absolutely love that. Noticing a couple comments, the audio is not perfect. Doing our best down here, and it's saying 10 out of 10. So we get confused, because today it sounded perfect for us, and then it was a little bit. But we're gonna keep grinding it out. All vibes here on the Postcast, presented by the Glebe Central Pub. Perfect time to turn our attention to our Sens Central standouts. And now let's get to our Sens Central standouts. Game 61, the New York Rangers hosting the Ottawa Senators. Sens win by a score of 5-3. Who's your first Sens Central standout, Pilsy? And I might have to get the goggle results in for this one.
Okay, I can see the goggle results. This is usually I don't get to see them from my vantage point in the postcast, and yeah, I'm going with what the crowd has said.
Pleaser.
Derek Brassard is my first Sens Central standout. 1,000 games at MSG up against his old team, which isn't saying much. He's had a lot of old teams, but still, this is a big moment for him, and he comes out and he has an absolute amazing game. 2 goals on Ross. 2 goals on 2 shots. Not math, guys, but that's pretty damn good.
How do you do in the face-off dot?
67%. You love to see that. And for him to have that kind of an impact in just 11 minutes, 55 seconds.
Yeah, he only took 3 face-offs. But when you win 2 of them.
Hey, yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. But yeah, like I said, he had a bit of a greasy goal with a tip out front, and then he has a beauty goal after. And he was so close to getting the hat trick. I thought the hockey gods were going to will that puck in just for good vibes, but you can't have it all, I guess, Ross. We can't have everything.
Well, when you have Claude Giroux, you have good vibes, and Claude Giroux is my first Sens Central standout. How about the 2 vets on this team pulling it together and bringing it home in an important game? Claude Giroux has a goal, 2 assists, another 3-point night. He's on a 4-game point streak now, and he has 10 points in those games. Super impressive. 54% in the dot. He won that late faceoff when it was only a 1-goal game, Pilsy, eh? Right on the right side. It was a bit of a battle draw against Trocheck. He's able to pull that one back, and just all in all, an incredible performance. 4 shots on goal. And how about over 3 minutes shorthanded for Giroux? I thought the Sens PK, despite they went 4 for 4 on the penalty kill, but that 5-minute major, it was the power play that gave up one, which you don't like to see. The only special teams goal going in favor of the Rangers. But when you kill a 5-minute major in the first period, that's super impressive. So Giroux was a big part of that, and he's my first Sens Central standout.
Love it.
You got one more?
That was a great choice. Yeah, I got another one if we're going to snap it around here.
We can do one more.
I thought Cam Talbot had a really good game. And I think at the start, you're thinking, Kreider gets that good goal there. Like, that's a real momentum killer. The Sens are on the power play, and you allow a shorty like that. But there's multiple times, I'm just looking through my notes to try to check some of the big saves he had. But he had to be really sharp on guys like Panarin, guys like Zibanejad. He was... here it is. Talbot slides over, made that stick save on Zibanejad on the cross slot one-timer. I thought he missed the net, but Talbot got over there and got the stick. So really, without Talbot playing a good game, the Rangers really, I thought, could have taken hold of this game early on, and would have been, anytime you're up against a team like the New York Rangers, it would have been tough for them to come back and ultimately win this one. So as a hashtag goalie-friendly show, Ross, Cam Talbot, my second Sens Central standout. 26 shots against by the end of the second period. Ottawa then doubled the Rangers in shots, 12-6 in the final frame. So Ottawa outshot the Rangers 34-32 in this game. And I can't believe I didn't bring this up right off the bat, but this was a game, I tweeted it out at Sens Central, that the entire hockey world was watching, because Showtime Patrick Kane debut on Broadway. Well, it's those pesky Sens that come in and get another hard-fought victory. Ross, I don't like the narrative of calling this team pesky Sens, because this team, it's not like
they want it more.
But it's not even like, it's not a scrappy roster that outworks you. This team has a lot of talent now. It's funny to kind of have this view with just Jacob Chychrun being added, but subtraction by addition, or addition by subtraction with Nikita Zaitsev, and now you replace him with a guy like Jacob Chychrun, that's going to have big results. But it didn't feel like this was a game that the Sens scrapped their way out of. I thought for the third period, they really held control, and they just beat a really good team here. So I'm not down with bringing back the pesky Sens. That's not the vibe I'm getting here.
The skilled Sens?
Skilled Sens. Let's do it. Love it. I love me some alliteration.
How about the hashtag actually good Sens?
Yeah, the rest of the hockey world would love that.
I got no more. Let us know in the comments as well which ones we want for the Sens. They look unreal. And I think...
Did you give your second Sens Central standout?
Presented by Glebe Central Pub, 779 Bank Street. No, I didn't.
I thought while we were watching the game, you were really making a lot of notes about Sanderson having really good stick plays, good breakout passes, and he led all defensemen in ice time. So that's a big game for Sandy.
Okay, tell me more about your third Sens Central
I
standout.
was giving suggestions here. I mean, I could go on. You want me to do this one solo? I got some Sens Central standouts.
Let's go. You got standouts?
I got standouts.
I want to give my next Sens Central standout to John Abbott.
Oh, love it.
I mean, that rules. That rules that we were able to get a Timmy Superstar on the call. I'm going to go Shane Pinto. 21 minutes tonight for Shane Pinto.
Yep.
Played shorthanded, played power play, scored a goal, and he created that other goal that went in where I thought he did a great job on the break-in. And he doesn't get a point on that one, but 5 shots on goal, 60% in the draw. How many did he take? That's super. I mean, now he's just getting more and more comfortable. Took 10, won 6 out of 10. So decent numbers for him. 29 shifts. Like that unit must have been out there quite a bit. That number surprises me a little bit when you look at who else was out there. The Nodak Sens, leading the team already in ice time at forward and defense in this game.
Yeah, I mean, you love to see that from the Nodak guys. Maybe JBD can come up and make that a trio there. But
people want your fourth Sens Central standout.
Oh, fourth Sens Central standout. I'll go with Brady. I thought Brady, even though for those
people want the vibes, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Una cerveza, por favor.
I forgot where I was going. Brady. Even though our friends that had Brady overshots at FanDuel, you don't get it in this one. I apologize for that, as he gets 2 shots on goal here.
Boo.
But he gets 2 assists. He keeps, this guy's just racking up points this year. Just like that one comment, I forget who to give credit for, but saying just when you think Brady Tkachuk is the best player on this team,
I know we've used
proves you wrong, or it flips back and forth. It's crazy how good these two are. But he gets 2 assists. But I really thought that he did a good job of staying physical. He had some good battles with Trouba. We saw out front of the net, and this is a guy that leads this team, and he makes sure that everyone is pulling their weight, and he leads by example, as he's always a force on the ice here.
I'm also ready. I know that's not where you went here, but I would re-sign Derek Brassard tonight. Is that a little emotional?
What are you saying? I wouldn't want to hear that. I'm down.
You want
to do it?
Give me the old Nick Holden.
Don't put me as a Derek Brassard hater. I will not stand for that.
No, I love it. Do you have a fifth Sens Central standout?
Nope.
No, you're drawing the line?
Yeah, I'm drawing the line at 4. Sorry, guys.
I love it.
Disappointing.
I love it. People are mentioning my eyes from the salt water that we went in today.
Oh,
not to brag,
that
swimming with the whales. That was fun.
It was pretty sweet. Definitely.
Would recommend?
Yeah. 10 out of 10 would recommend, especially in Mexico. You can get real close to those humpback whales. It's awesome.
Yes, sir. Well, the Senators win their 4th game in a row. I'm already fired up because this next game, I mean, you got Columbus at home on Saturday. Come on.
Ooh.
Come on.
Y'all got any more of those Columbus Blue Jackets? We love feasting on the Blue Jackets, Ross. Especially that's a team that's selling off, so they're tough already, but now you got no Gavrikov. I guess he hasn't been playing much anyways. They don't have Korpisalo anymore. Might get Merzlikins, but This is a team that the Ottawa Senators, they beat a New York Rangers team, and you're happy about that, but I'm not even willing to call the game against Columbus a must-win. It's just
no.
You got to take care of business and move on.
I'm calling that a must-win would be pesky Sens ass.
Exactly, and we're not doing that. That's not the road we're going.
It's down. A business-like Saturday night at the CTC.
Just like we're in business-like form right now.
Yeah, I look like I'm ready for a meeting.
I mean, this is a meeting with all.
A meeting of the minds.
528 of you. Welcome to the conference call, the Sens Central Postcast.
How about burying the lead, Pilsy? Your thoughts on Jacob Chychrun's game?
Yeah, Jacob Chychrun. Oh, yeah, Jacob Chychrun.
Oh,
yeah, right. Okay. I mean, I kind of gave a little synopsis at the start. I didn't think he was overwhelmingly noticeable, but also he's playing on the third pair. He's playing with Ross. Talk about us making 10 different options of D pairings, and he ends up with Nick Holden, a guy we didn't even include in any of the options. Yeah. Like, that just goes to show you what this Ottawa Senators team is like. But anyways, that's not really a big issue. I think he's going to have a lot better showings. It's a big deal. This is first time on a new team. They talked about Patrick Kane, first time on a new team as well. So it's going to take some while for him to adjust. So my expectations weren't that high anyways, but I'll tell you one thing. You look damn good in the Sens jersey. Number 6, love it.
5 block shots, led the team, but
Okay.
you're right. This was just a get your feet wet, feel good.
Yeah, and I'm not upset about that. I'm not disappointed.
Not at all, but just exciting to see him back there. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say he's not going to play with Nick Holden for the rest of the year.
Let's hope you're right there, Ross. Let's hope you're right.
You think he could?
No. If I'm at FanDuel making that bet, I'm not doing that one.
He did take the 1 slashing penalty as well, but again, you can see how he skates is so fluid.
Yeah, well, and I mean, when we're talking about Chychrun, we're bearing the lead even more with that injury scare. How, like, in the chat, let us know how panicked and what were some of the swear words you were using when you see Jacob Chychrun go down and stay down, and they have to go to a commercial break. I was down bad after watching that, but then the reverse. How relieved were you when you see him on the bench? He's walking around, because that replay doesn't look good where he's going into the boards and his foot gets jammed up against the boards and there's nowhere to go. So, but we were trying to talk, what has Chychrun's injuries been recently? Like, has he had foot issues before? It seems like he's had a bunch of different injuries.
Chychrun's long history injury includes surgery on both knees, shoulder surgery, ankle surgery, and a pair of wrist surgeries.
Which ankle, I wonder, because if it was the right one, that's the one that went into the boards hard.
Hey, he came back. He finished the game.
Definitely.
He was off for 5 minutes?
He wasn't off for very long, but I'm just worried that that's now something that we need to monitor.
Oh,
way she goes.
No.
I'm not a doctor, remember, guys. Don't take this too seriously. Brandon Piller, not a doctor.
Not a doctor, but very good sign.
In Mexico, I could be a doctor.
Very good sign. Very good sign that he was able to come back. We hope that Jacob Chychrun's ready to go against Columbus. It's an FU game for Chychrun, being like, why did you even think about trading for me? Yeah. Your last place. Like, why you want me? Come on.
Oh, man.
So great game overall. We had our Sens Central standouts. There's some thoughts on Jacob Chychrun. We're seeing a few people in the chat asking about our thoughts on Pierre Dorian's press conference today. May I point you to today's Locked On Senators? We got into that. Pilsy, let's let the people know right now. I don't know which way you want to go. I know I'm leaning after the deadline passes. Hit record.
Yeah. There's no point in recording before the deadline, and then now it's all just age. So, yeah.
So I think something fun to do is, I do still think there's going to be deals, because even though there's been a lot of deals
plural. Oh, you mean just in general?
In general,
you were talking about the Sens. I was like, holy moly!
But what I'm hoping happens is that we can discuss the trades that go down tomorrow in a, what would the Senators have given up? Like, what would be a similar package to what ends up going in certain trades? But we'll see, because there could just be a bunch of depth moves at this point, and I hope the Senators are in on a centerman, preferably a middle six guy who can play just the rest this year, and then away you go. And then you hope Ridley and Pinto can be that guy, and Josh Norris obviously coming back.
Yeah, I mean, but Ross, at this point, like, who's left to be traded? Like, how many trades have already happened? Even the depth guys are going. Sorry, RIP to your Nick Bugstad take. Sorry to hear that, Ross.
Well, you knew when it wasn't together, unless we were going to have a Columbus-Ottawa situation where they traded Matt Duchene and then traded Ryan Dzingel like 3 days later.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. But there's not many notable players even available. I can't, off the top of my head, I can't even think of one like top 10 trade bait guy that is available. So I think it might be a slow day. You think slow day overall? Yeah, dude. How many? Like, this is an insane amount of trades leading up to it. Like, tell me one trade deadline storyline that you think could happen. Tell me one. No. I rest my case. I'm now a lawyer as well. Yeah, there's not that much left. You can get the gavel out. Let's wrap up this postcast. We'll do more of it tomorrow, but we got to pull up the standings for everyone, right? Like, we're on full on standings watch right now. We are on standings watch. Yes. This feels amazing. Look at where they are. I don't even have to zoom that far down, but I will, because I want everyone to see just how. See where Columbus is. Next opponent. Let's go with the next opponent here. Let's go. Share screen here. So the Ottawa Senators are currently sitting in a position right behind the Buffalo Sabres. Here we go. We're able to do this. Nice. All right. Look at this technology at our footstep. So Pittsburgh, 71 points in 61 games. The Islanders have 70 points, but have played 64 games. Buffalo
Ottawa, Florida, and Washington all tied at 66 points. That's amazing.
Yep.
Although Florida and Washington each have played 2 more games than Ottawa, Buffalo 1 less. But damn, does this ever look better than when the Sens were in 7th just 3 days ago.
And Ross, maybe this is just being at an all-inclusive resort and enjoying the Cervezas and a 4-game win streak and a big acquisition. But
yeah,
no longer am I even thinking about the teams under the Ottawa Senators. Like Detroit, I mean.
Well, the trade deadline definitely has a bit here.
But, okay, let me continue my case here. Detroit, sellers. And we've seen what they do in big games. They got nothing. Washington, sellers. And I'm not really that worried that they're going to have an opportunity here. Florida, I don't think they're going to be sellers, but they have no assets. They have no cap room, or at least I don't think they have cap room. They have no way to acquire anyone with any actual kind of moving the needle ability here. And then you're off the standing, so I can't see where I'm going here. But next is...
You don't have a computer?
Oh, yeah, true. But I was staring at this one. Fair. Next is the Buffalo Sabres. That Alex Tuch injury is a killer for them.
How'd they do tonight?
They lost 7-1. I mean, mind you, to the best team in the NHL and one of the teams with the best record in my recent memory. But then New York Islanders, Barzal's out. That's a big injury. And then Pittsburgh's kind of the, no pun intended, the wild card in this wild card race, as I'm not really sure what they're going to do at the deadline. Getting rid of Kapanen, that frees up a little bit of cap space. You got to assume they're going to try to do something there. But honestly, like I mentioned, the teams below the Ottawa Senators, I'm not even that concerned, and I'm not going to be scoreboard watching them too hard here. It's all about Buffalo, New York, and Pittsburgh now, in my eyes. Tell me in the chat, am I crazy? Like, is that getting a little too ahead of myself here?
I want to wait and see what the chat says. I think with what Washington and Detroit did at the trade deadline, I think that's pretty fair. Florida, to me, is kind of an X factor because Matthew Tkachuk's been dragging that team along. They do have other talented players that if they start producing, I think that they could still get in the mix.
Is injured.
He's back, I think, but he's just back recently.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's obviously a big impact.
So that's just you getting excited. But we love that. Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Positive pills. I got accurate pills here. That's not a alliteration, but I appreciate that from Swanky Pants.
Well, 2 wheels down saying a little cocky, bro. So
damn. Okay, right back down to earth for me. Okay, fair. I started this off with a disclaimer being like, this might be crazy. So you can't take me to court on that one.
A little yin and yang. Well, we can't wait to watch James Duthie sweat out tomorrow on Trade Center. If there are trades involving the Senators, we will have that for you live, quick hitting videos by the pool. We'll get the notification. All right, let's go break this one down. We'll have some fun with it as well. Hopefully the Sens do make something just for fun. Give away another pick. I'm done with picks.
Oh, yeah.
Trade all the picks.
Who needs picks? Losers.
Picks
are for losers. I don't want any of those picks. In fact, just lay off the whole scouting team until new ownership comes in because they don't need to scout anyone. No picks.
Absolutely. So much fun. We'll do that tomorrow. We'll get Mark Mathot next week. He's busy. He's in Regina. Timing doesn't work. We're 2 hours time change away. So we'll figure it. I love all the comments.
Get rid of the picks. Hey, picks, who wants them? Who wants them? Eh? We've got untouchables in the prospect pool. And yeah, go check out today's podcast if you want more about Pierre Dorion and his classic lines at today's PR Dorion press conference. We'll be back tomorrow at Locked On Senators. Let's get some Go Sens go in the chat. We'll have this available for you on your audio podcast platforms as well. Cannot wait to celebrate another win. The Sens are 2-0. While we're in Mexico, and then they have a chance to make it 3 on Saturday. For Brandon Piller, final thoughts? Go Sens, go. I mean, I am full positive pillsy mode here. I'm talking crazy. I'm excited for the Ottawa Senators. This is going to be the next stretch of games here, Ross. Columbus and Chicago. That's going to be fun. And there's a little tease about the Chicago game that we'll get into maybe in tomorrow's episode that I'm excited to share with people. So, go Sens go is my final thoughts, Ross.
Woo! All right, my final thoughts is get well, Jacob Chychrun. Get some sleep, get to practice, and we'll see you next time at the Sens. Do they practice tomorrow? They practice tomorrow. Let me pull that up real quick
We're
because.
talking about practice.
But hey, how awkward is practice on trade deadline day? I know Ottawa's not in that situation, but when guys get pulled off as well, the Senators are off on Friday. Pierre Dorion will be available to the media after the deadline. Sounds like a perfect time to record tomorrow's Locked On Senators. We'll chat to you then. Sens win 5-3 over the New York Rangers.
Woo.
Some were calling them the hottest team in the league. The Senators run through them at MSG. They go 2-0 in the Big Apple this season. For Brandon Piller, I'm Ross Levitan. Thank you for watching the Postcast presented by the Locked On Senators podcast and the Glebe Central Pub. We're a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.